Yes, we did have corned beef and cabbage for dinner.
Oh, I went to like
Wait. You went to a Polish restaurant?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Ooh, what kind of Polish food did you have?
Why are you putting it down?
Corned beef.
I like your
Corned beef and cabbage at a
avatar.
Polish restaurant?
Yeah, it was $5.
Bro, I need
Oh, Five Guys?
to
Is that a Polish
read Demon
restaurant?
Slayer and watch it.
Wait,
Okay.
Ian.
Get distracted.
No, 3.
My God,
You forgot.
Three brothers.
Three.
Oh my gosh, I love Three Brothers.
What's that?
I was on my way there when
Five Guys is a restaurant for Three Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know what Three Brothers was.
I've never been to Three Brothers.
What's
Okay, now I'm going to hear from you. Caleb, how did you please celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
I don't do any celebrations. Typically, Caitlin, 9th grade, and homeschooled.
You what?
Oh, we don't have to do introductions.
I didn't hear the last one. Oh,
We don't have to do it
no intros, okay.
No.
But you wear green? I see you're wearing a lucky.
because I don't want to get pinched.
She
Okay.
tried to pinching Olivia earlier
I did already.
Okay.
in the snow.
Alicia?
Not really. I just had to study for a quiz today.
Now, when you guys have school
You know what?
and it's St. Patrick's
Those
Day, do you guys get pinched if you go with green?
No.
Oh no, we got so fancy.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know.
Except the teachers. The teachers will do like little things where they just dress up, and the kids are just sitting there in their normal casual school day clothes or whatever, and they're just like there.
Wow.
Interesting.
To be honest, I would be that teacher.
That's literally me.
Yeah, that's me.
It's me every day.
My costumes are freezing, so I wear the right.
I literally wear
Okay,
jeans and a
so-
sweatshirt every day.
I wear
A
sweatshirts
little bit about
every day.
Patrick himself. Imagine that you were kidnapped as a small child.
What?
Oh, I
Imagine
think
you
I
were
saw
taken
something
from a
about
clean,
this.
secure home, and drove
No!
away to a third world country.
No!
Imagine being forced to work as a slave
No!
for the same little barbarians who kidnapped you.
No!
What?
And for 6 years, you pretty much ate garbage and worked long hours, forced to savage people.
No! I'm good. I'm pissed off that.
Well, that's what happened to Patrick. He got kidnapped at an early age, probably about somewhere between like 13, 14 years old. He was kidnapped.
13? Oh crap.
And he was taken away to a third world country and was basically a slave for 6 years. And then one night, God had told him, he had a dream where he said to run and continue to run. And so he continued to run until he found someone who had a boat that was willing to take him to safety back home. Now, does anyone know where Patrick was born and grew up?
Ireland, presumably.
Somewhere in
Ireland,
It's
Europe.
not Ireland.
It's Scotland, right?
No, it's not Scotland.
Europe.
Scotland?
No,
It's a
wait.
continent. Yeah, country.
No.
It was actually England.
I was gonna
Yeah,
guess
English-
Italy.
The English Isles.
The English
Dang
Isles.
it.
So he was born there, and then he was taken as a slave to the Scottish. Ireland.
Yeah.
So why did I just remember
Wait a
that
minute, I don't
Scottish is
remember
a
being
language?
Scottish, he was Irish.
What?
Well, he is
Not
like.
Scottish, Irish.
Yeah, I'm like,
I said it wrong. That's why I
wrong
corrected
island.
myself. So after that, how many of you would be willing to
Not an island.
go back to the same land that you were slaves at?
Wait, what?
If you were slaves, if you were in his situation where you were kidnapped, you were slaves for 6 years, and then you got away from that country and went back home, would you be willing to go back to that place that you were imprisoned?
No.
Like in the
Depends.
future, or just like
Depends.
Hey,
in
don't use,
Like,
don't
couple
use
years
your boy's
later.
name and name.
a couple years later? No. If it was like 50 years later, maybe.
Never. Literally never.
Would you what?
Depends.
The only reason it would be because
Why am I
I
going
don't.
back?
Well,
Okay.
listen.
Well,
So you were just kidnapped. That's gotta be traumatizing, right?
Yeah.
Even for him, you were traumatized. Probably as a kid, you were kidnapped. You were like taken into slavery, and you had to do labor for 6 whole years.
yeah.
And then God finally comes down to you and says, "Run, just run." And you go back to your homeland. Why would you ever want to go back to a place that you were just traumatized from?
True.
for working for 6 years.
Unless
As
it's
a
like 100
kid.
years later.
As a young kid.
What if you had a dream from God that said go back?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, heck no. Heck no. I am not
Maybe.
going back.
God's blessing, I'm
No.
good. They
If
can't
it was
hurt
like
me at this point.
80 years
It's
later,
like
maybe.
a farmer versus God. Like,
Oh.
yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, Patrick was an English boy. He was kidnapped by pirates.
Pirates.
Irish
Oh,
pirates.
yeah, that's right.
After
What?
6 years of
Pirates
slavery, he
exist outside
escaped
the
back to
Caribbean.
England. When he got there,
Yep.
a reoccurring dream kept calling him to go back to Ireland. So Patrick knew that God wanted him to take the gospel to his former captors. And after becoming a priest, he had to fight for the chance to return to Ireland. The bishops, the Pope, and stuff did not want him to go back because of they weren't part of the Roman Empire, and they wanted to keep the church inside the Roman Empire where they knew what was safe to do. But they eventually gave in because he was persistent enough that he wanted to go.
The Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire? Not particularly.
The article said
I have
Roman
no
Empire.
idea.
The Roman
I don't know
Empire is
Spanish.
Persecuting the Christians. The Byzantines did that for Christianity.
I'm
Which
learning
was
sign
right
language,
after the Roman Empire.
but
The Roman Empire collapsed.
I don't know any other language.
Wait, did I say how young he was?
Christianity.
12 to 13, I
The
think.
Romans are the ones
Oh,
that
13 or
crucified Jesus. They were not
Right.
accepting.
Around our age.
Right, but this is
Well-
hundreds of years later, though.
He says he was
This
kidnapped
years
as a
later is
small
the
child.
Byzantines. Rome's not a thing anymore.
12? 11?
Do we
Right,
know
this
exactly?
He faced a great deal of persecution, but eventually won the entire nation to Christianity. If he had not done so, Christianity might have not survived the Middle Ages, and when the Roman Empire fell and many of the early Christian writings vanished, an order of Irish monk that he established was ready to take the Bible to the world, just as St. Patrick had done for them. Question?
Do we know exactly how old he
I want to
was
say
when
he was
he got
like
kidnapped?
14 years old when he was kidnapped,
So for 14
and he was returned about 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for him to be a small child, it would have just been, like, probably for him about 10 years or
Think
9.
about it, and if you're someone trying to
Yeah.
take slave, someone who can barely walk is not a very useful slave.
True.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah,
gonna sell
because-
for a lot.
Back then, once you hit 12, you were kind of an adult to the point where you can continue, start working as an adult would work. So they were using the slaves starting at about age 12. Patrick's life is a reminder that the good news of Jesus is for everyone. And like the English bishops who forbade St. Patrick from going to Ireland, many of the early church believed that the gospel was for the Jews only. But God sent a vision of one of Jesus' disciples that changed all that. So that's kind of his story, and the lesson we want to learn from it is that Patrick was a slave who not only forgave his slave masters, but took the gospel to them. His life is a reminder that the gospel of Jesus Christ is for everyone, and as Christ followers, we need to be willing to share the gospel with everyone we meet. I have a video of
Oh,
last year, at this time, when they actually tried
how much dye did he use?
They can't be good.
Enough
for
to make it green.
how many
A lot.
how many pounds of dye do you think was used?
Oh, I was gonna say
Over a
gallons.
mil, like over.
Like, do you know the volume of the river? Like,
We're
Because
not.
because I did something in history
Oh, wow.
class when I was at my other school, and we were talking about the Chicago River.
Bro, we're learning
So-
about the Cold War right now.
Yeah, we're learning about the Cold War, but like,
yeah.
I'm not even history yet. I haven't even taken civics yet.
Okay, give me numbers. How many pounds of dye do you think was used?
400,000.
10,000
400,000, 10,000.
in one.
Enough to make it green.
Yeah.
True.
1,000
10,000.
pounds.
Over 1,000. Over 1,000.
What do you guys think?
Pounds isn't that much.
10,000.
You what?
15.
Sorry, what you
Okay,
saying?
that's a lot.
15 million would flood the whole entire
Million?
country.
Maybe like a couple 100,000, but not a million.
15
Now, what do you
million
think?
might flood the whole entire city.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
1,000. 33? 30.
1,030. What?
You have a guess?
Oh, 10,000.
10,000. Cam, you got a guess?
Who? Or,
No, I don't.
Dean, you got a guess? Joaquin, you got a
it's
guess?
not 15 million.
Just to let you know, they only use about 40 pounds vegetable dye
Why?
that they pour in. So when you're watching them in the boat, you'll see the guy. He's got like a container about this big, kind of almost the size of my mug there, and he's just dumping a little by little. And you'll notice in the video that they have two boats. One boat. Well, that's like they did this several times. Probably that would be like 5 pounds of it. So they probably have 8 of those. But you'll notice that there's one boat that dumps the dye, and then there's 1 or 2 boats that swirl it around. As they're swirling it around, they it changes the color from blue to green, and the dye stays for about 6 hours.
Oh.
So it doesn't stay. I mean, it's pretty much on the top. You'll see. But you were asking earlier. I heard you guys talking that over time it eventually evaporates, or not evaporates, but dissipates into the water, mixes with the rest of the water,
Oh, so it
and
doesn't
then as
burn.
rain adds onto it, it thins it out even more. So it eventually, because it's vegetable dye, it just kind of blends in with the water.
Oh, so it doesn't harm anything.
So no, the original dyes they used were considered possibly deadly because it was dye dye. But PETA got involved and said you need to make something that's a little more, environmentally friendly, and that's when they came up with the vegetable dyes. They've been doing this for about 68 years,
Dang.
and so this is about a 10-minute video of them doing it.
As this event is getting underway, take a look right there. The Chicago River being dyed
Yeah, it's gonna
green
change colors.
ahead
Yeah,
of
what?
St. Patrick's
This
Day.
is
Negative.
such
This is
low
like
quality.
Negative.
Up of the audio.
This is such
Not
low
sure if
quality.
anyone's narrating, but it is pretty cool to watch. So you will definitely
Oh, there
hear
you
the
go.
crowds out
Yeah,
there as
Take a minute here.
there's a lot of people watching this.
So you can see how he's dumping it
Yeah,
slowly.
there's a lot of.
He probably has about 10 of those containers.
Wow.
It's about a 10-minute video, but it's interesting to watch. How
What,
it starts
Matt?
off all blue.
But why do they do this? Why are they doing it?
To get pastors to stay.
It's neat, I guess.
Why is there red coming out of it?
They do it red.
This does not seem really good for the water because
It's just vegetable.